Alright guys, Tom here, and welcome to my full show review of Monday Night Raw for the 17th of June 2013. Now, if you're just watching or haven't watched any of my Raw reviews ever before, please subscribe, because if you do subscribe, I review and preview every show on WWE, and to be honest, it's a pretty epic thing. So, if you get onto that subscribe button and click that, then you will enjoy some much more awesome videos when I bring them out for WWE. So now, just get on with the WWE review. So, this was an absolutely epic Monday Night Raw. I'm not even kidding. This was right up there with the Raw after WrestleMania. It was just so good. There was like four things that stood out for me, which were just absolutely epic. I'll talk about them later, but it was just an absolutely incredible show. And I'm just going to straight off say, if you don't follow me on Twitter, do get over there to follow me on Twitter, because I do post throughout the show. So I was just marking out loads of stuff, and it was just incredible. Now, it started off with Ricardo Rodriguez announcing Alberto Del Rio as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, to be honest, I don't have a clue how they've made this heel work. Now, we had point A, where it was Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio at Payback, and then WWE had point C, where it was Dolph Ziggler's face turn and Alberto Del Rio's heel turn. So you've had a double switch. In wrestling, that basically means where you've got one person going from face to heel and another person from going heel to face. So you've got point A, where it's Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio Payback, where we know Del Rio won, and then you had point C that they were trying to get, where it was Del Rio, where he was going to turn heel from being face. So I don't get how they did point B. I'm trying to get an answer from people how they think the heel turn happened. Now, point B is the heel turn, but how did they do that heel turn? I'm just really confused. Was it a Chicago crowd? Was it the fact that he just beat Dolph Ziggler up to the head? I don't want to say it was a clever thing. I don't know if they actually meant to do it as well as they did, but it's worked so well. I mean, Del Rio came out, and there was a few guys booing in the crowd, and then 5 minutes later, the whole crowd were booing. Now, Del Rio, without a doubt, he knows how to get the crowd going. He's one of the best guys in the company who can get heat, without a doubt. And he was just talking about how last night he did it for himself on Payback. He did it for himself, and he says that Ziggler did it cheap by cashing in the Money in the Bank, even though Del Rio did exactly the same thing at SummerSlam 2011, I think it was. So Del Rio got shut up basically by CM Punk coming out with Paul Heyman, and CM Punk basically announced that Del Rio and Tim were going to have a match tonight in the main event. I was pretty pumped for this match. I thought this was going to be a really good match. Sadly, it wasn't, but I'll talk about that later. Now, Paul Heyman trying to not do it. CM Punk caused a bit of friction between him and Paul Heyman when he was like, Paul, just step back a bit. And I was pretty pumped for this. I tweeted on Twitter, oh yeah, this is going to be a really good match. So I was looking forward to this match. And then Del Rio was like, no. So Vicky Guerrero came out, basically cemented this match in the main event tonight. It was a really good promo by CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio. I really liked this segment. Pretty awesome. Vicky was kind of being shoved down our throats the whole show. I mean, I know they're trying to cause friction between the McMahon family, and she's the middle woman, but she was kind of getting shoved down our throat a lot. There was quite a lot of segments where she was there, and it was getting shoved down our throats quite a lot. So the next thing still to come was Vicky Guerrero apparently had a big surprise for Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon and Triple H, and also Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton was going to be in a singles action. Now, we also saw Wade Barrett. He got the jobber's entrance, and he was seen walking backstage just before the commercial, and then when we came back from the commercial, we got Heyman and Punk talking backstage about how Punk doesn't want Paul Heyman to be coming out of the ring anymore. He says he's always going to be a Paul Heyman guy, but he was never his client. He was never Paul Heyman's client. He says he says Paul Heyman, Curtis Axel and Brock Lesnar need you. CM Punk doesn't. So this is basically CM Punk making a face turn. Don't particularly agree with it. I think CM Punk should stay heel. He's always a better heel. Everybody like him is always better than a heel. Brock Lesnar just wouldn't work as a face, even though he's the same guy in the ring. CM Punk is just dirty and downright just rude, but that's what makes him so awesome and why I love him so much. So we had Well, this was awesome. We had Wade Barrett in the middle of the ring, and he was expecting to have his rematch against the man Curtis Axel. Vicky Guerrero comes out and says, I've got a match for you against this guy. And straight away, I just predicted it was going to be Christian because we got some backstage information. Don't know if it was true or false, but Christian's been medically cleared for like a month now. And I just straight away thought, oh, Christian's going to come out. And then it was like, Christian came out. It was also epic. I was marking out, and it was just absolutely awesome. Christian just didn't look like he'd lost it at all. He got an amazing pop. This match was awesome. He hit the kill switch on Wade Barrett and got the 1-2-3 pin. He jumped out off the top outside the ring. It was a great maneuver. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The match is really good. I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10 match. Didn't really get a lot of time at all. I wish it got a lot more time, but it was a nothing feud, so you're not going to get a lot of time for that, really, are you? Really, really good. Glad Christian's back. Imagine if he won Money in the Bank. I know it's for guys that are young, but imagine if he came back and won the Money in the Bank. How epic would that be? But we've also got RVD coming back, so 2 great names that have returning. Absolutely epic. I mean, whoever wrote this show or wrote Payback, hats off to you. It's been the past few days in WWE have been absolutely epic, and Christian's back, guys. It's absolutely epic. He got a huge pop. The match was okay, yeah, 8 out of 10, something like that. He hit the kill switch, won Wade Barrett, and Wade Barrett's getting pushed down the mid card yet again, which is a big shame. So then we got an announcement that fans can now vote on the WWE app. They keep shoving this down our throat as well. This stipulation between Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. Now, to be honest, I thought this was completely pointless, but I'll get onto that later. Now, we've next got a match between Sheamus versus Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. Now, it's a long time since we had a handicap match where it's not a tag handicap match. So, to be honest, this match is really, really good. It gave him a little bit more time than I think it should. Now, I didn't really understand the point of this match at first, but the outcome was pretty good. I'll take my hat off to you guys as well, because whoever wrote this match was clever. Because he had Sheamus versus Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow, and I thought, well, what's the point of having this match when Sheamus completely took out Damien Sandow on the kickoff show on Payback? Now, what is the point of having this match when Sandow basically just got taken out by Sheamus and it looks like the feud was put to bed? But Cody Rhodes hit the disaster kick early on. Big mistake. If you're going to hit the disaster kick off the top rope, great move. I love that move, but he hit it so early on, it just took the whole wind and the punch out of the match. And then Sheamus hit... Damien Sandow tried to hit... He actually hit the elbow to stay and got 2 count. He didn't actually hit he hasn't hit his new finisher in frigging ages, the silencer. But, yeah, you got Cody Rhodes hitting his finisher, and then you got Damien Sandow hitting his signature / finisher, and it kind of took the punch out of the match. So, Sheamus he did all this shit and boring stuff, tried to go for the bro kick, and then Sandow, out of nowhere, because Sheamus was going for the bro kick on Cody Rhodes, Sheamus just got rolled up by Sandow onto a 1-2-3 pin. Very dirty by Sandow. Looks like they're carrying on this feud, which is good. But to be honest, if you're going to carry on the feud, please just give Sandow a win in the pay-per-view match. Please, it's pointless building up a match between these two when Sheamus is just going to downright win the match. So after the match, Sheamus gave a bro kick to Cody Rhodes out of anger, and the winner was Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. To be honest, I quite like this match. I didn't like the fact how they hit the disaster kick so early on, but for that match, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 because I'm liking how this one's going. So after the match, like I said, Sandow hurries up the ramp, and Sheamus lays out Cody with a bro kick. And then we also get a promo to say Mark Henry, does he announce his retirement with a question mark, and we go to a commercial. So backstage, we get from the break, Vicky and Brad Maddox are backstage bragging to Triple H about what's happened tonight, about how Christian returned, about an epic main event. And then Triple H actually asks what about the main event. He says, what if CM Punk didn't challenge Del Rio? And then she didn't answer, and then she brags about Christian, and then Triple H says, well, it's been good, but he's been back for about 2 months now. So Triple H brings up Rob Van Dam, and then Vicky Guerrero says, oh, that was me. And then he was like, well, no, it wasn't. It was nothing to do with you. So Vicky Guerrero is the middleman, causing friction between Triple H and Vince McMahon, and actually Stephanie McMahon. Looks like we might possibly get some kind of angle, whether it's going to turn into something comedic or it's actually going to be a match is something else. But yeah, this segment was quite interesting. It was something that we'll learn later what's going to happen, where we get some more friction between Mr. McMahon, Stephanie, and Triple H. I like how they've now put Stephanie into the mix, who actually came out later on. So Kane and Daniel Bryan are backstage. Kane wants the title, but Bryan says he's too busy. So Bryan says Kane is glad Bryan and Orton lost last night. Kane says he's not. Bryan isn't the only only one who lost last night. Kane says maybe Team Hell No should give it another shot. Bryan says he's never going to be anything he's involved in a team. He then announces basically that he's Team Daniel Bryan now, which is great. I want him to be a one-man band. But I want him to be a guy on his own. He strives on his own. If you watch the Money in the Bank match in 2012, epic match between CM Punk, he just puts on a way better match when he's on his own. So the next match, we got an announcement from Jerry the King Lawler that this match was voted on the WWE app. It was like 84% no disqualification match. To be honest, I don't really know why they did this, because there was only one weapon used, and it was Randy Orton got out a kendo stick, the cheapest version of a weapon. Like, if you're going to use a weapon or something like that, at least use a chair. He got out a kendo stick, hit Daniel Bryan 2 times, and then got bored with it. And, like, if you want us to get the WWE app, at least prove that it's worth getting if we want to vote for a match. Now, the match itself was pretty good. I was disappointed that it wasn't really a no disqualification match. Like, Randy Orton did a few cheap shots to the bollocks and to the eyes of Daniel Bryan, but after the match, we both had people stay face. Now, Randy Orton was outside the ring. Daniel Bryan did his diving outside the ring. I love that move. And he hit his face on, it was something like his neck or his part of his head, went right out into the barricade. Now, it was reported on WWE.com that he got a nerve something to do with a nerve twitch or something like that. He pulled a nerve. I'm not sure how you do that, but Daniel Bryan did actually legitimately injure himself during that match, and he just looked really pissed off with himself because he's looking forward to this push, and then he just gets himself injured, which is a great shame. So the match itself is really, really good. After the match, Randy Orton picked up Daniel Bryan and they walked off together, so both people stayed face. This match was pretty good, to be honest. It was quite a lot of ground wrestling, like the match between CM Punk and Chris Jericho last night. I'd give that match an 8 out of 10. I mean, the matches tonight were there were a few matches tonight, but them matches were pretty good. Now, it was related amounts on WWE.com, a WWE.com exclusive, that Triple H was the one that made Daniel Bryan basically get the doctors to call the match. So that's also causing a little bit of friction, hopefully making Triple H have a heel turn, because at the moment, when he had his match between Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules, really boring. I mean, I'd like to see a heel turn at least one more time for Triple H, which should be very good. So Orton hugged Bryan outside the ring. Both people made as a face. So you had this push on a card. Like, you had this push ready to initiate, and then it was a shame because nothing came out of the match because Bryan got injured and she had to stay with the face characters of both people, so nothing really happened. So back from the break, we had a Punk and Del Rio an advert, what happened earlier, sorry. We go to the ring and AJ, the new Divas champion, we see footage of Caitlyn crying. There was a guy in the crowd just like taking the piss, like and yeah, that was funny here. And she says, unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler can't be here tonight. Got quite a lot of boos. I mean, the crowd in Michigan tonight was pretty good. I mean, the chants were awesome, especially when Mark Henry came out. We'll talk about that later. She says she's an example for all women. She's awesome and everything. She's clever. She's cunning, and she issues a challenge at anybody in the backstage. And then Stephanie McMahon comes out. Now, I've got a bit of a rant about her music. She's got new music again. Now, if you want to be remembered and make an impact, you want a catchy song, and 2, you want a song that's been around for ages and people like when you hear it, like yabba doo da 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 da, you think John Cena, but her song was new. You didn't think of anything, so you had to wait till you saw the video that it was actually Stephanie McMahon coming out. Like, just stick with one song and get a catchy song, because this song is awful. It's like a freaking pain to the ears. So AJ says hi and starts being childish and stuff, and she asks if she's going to congratulate her. Now, Stephanie says she's an embarrassment to all divas, and that AJ basically says that she's a younger version of her. And then Stephanie McMahon says, oh, well, I can do whatever I want. I can take that title off you, or I can get all the divas on you. This segment was magical. It was really, really good. I mean, it's got AJ, who's a WWE fan herself, and Stephanie. It's just something about it was magical. And AJ is just an amazing actor. I mean, she can sell something so well. It just felt so real when they were doing it. Matt's out slightly, and yeah, it was really, really good. So hopefully they get another Caitlyn versus AJ Lee match, because after Stephanie started talking, then Caitlyn's music came on, and like all her friends went on the ramp, and Stephanie told her off actually for coming out on her. And Caitlyn just beat up AJ, I think it was, and AJ Lee ran away because Biggie Langston carried her away. So that's pretty much that. I really like that segment, actually. Hopefully we get another Caitlyn versus AJ Lee match. Now, the next match I've got a bit of a rant about, because before the commercial we got an advert that Kane versus Dean Ambrose was going to happen. Now, you had Kane lose at Payback. Then you had this match. Kane loses again. The match wasn't very good, because the Shield came in. This is cheap, because it ruined a good match. Well, a possibility of a good match. So Kane loses again. Please bonk the Team Hell No and Randy Orton versus the Shield on the head. We don't want to see it anymore. We've been seeing it since April. We've been seeing it since the 8th of April. Was it the 8th of April? Yeah, 8th. Is it Sunday, April? Yeah, April the 8th. Since WrestleMania, we've been having it on every Raw, every SmackDown, just Team Hell No and Randy Orton versus the Shield in some kind of clusterfuck, and it's just so boring. Now, just basically the Shield ruined the match, and Triple H before on that segment said that if the Shield do get involved, anything or cause a ruckus, then you've got to do something. Now, Vicky Guerrero didn't do anything. I thought the Wyatt family were going to come out. That would have been such a good key to do it. Like, it would have been so good to do it. And then Mr. McMahon would have told her off, but instead the opposite happened, and Triple H told her off for not doing anything, and Mr. McMahon was like, I love the Shield, and he gave them a handshake. Now, it would have been epic to get the Wyatt family out as soon as the Shield interrupted that match, because they showed 2 promos last night. It was just such a good... It was like written for them to come out. I thought it was almost certain. Somebody tweeted me, and as soon as they said that, I twigged, yes, brilliant idea, they're going to come out. But they never did. It would have been such a good thing to happen. But anyway, the winner was Kane. I think I said Dean Ambrose, but it was Kane because the Shield disrupted the match. So after bell, Roman Reigns did actually take out Kane. Now, this is the first time the Shield have done anything out of the norm for like ages now. They haven't done anything decent for a month. So hopefully they do get a decent push and put them against decent candidates next. So after bell, we see Mark Henry backstage hugging Tamina Stuckett, and Texas O'Neill and Darren Young, all black guys in his peach suit, did actually suit him. Now, the Shield are backstage. You get a handshake by Vince McMahon, and he just reminds me. I know Vince McMahon loves these guys, and later on we get a segment where Triple H disagrees with what Vicky Guerrero didn't do. So, apart from that, we get Zeb Coulter coming out and saying that his new client Antonio Cesaro, he's now not got the German Titantron. He's now got a Swedish Titantron. Well, it's not Swedish, but it's like colours of Swede. Oh god, that's a bit strong. Nice coffee there. So yeah, we got William Regal jobbed. Cesaro won. Basically, Zeb Coulter, Antonio Cesaro is Zeb Coulter's new man. He got out the flag, did a We the People thing, wasn't convinced one bit. I'm sure it'll grow on me soon. It was a pretty decent match. I mean, they got William Regal out, but couldn't they have got somebody like Justin Gabriel or something who's not American, or not somebody who's not going to put on a decent match? Because Antonio Cesaro, yeah, he won, but it wasn't impressive. So for that match, I'd probably give that like a 2 out of 10. I mean, I was like, oh, who's he going to face? And I saw William Regal in the ring. I was like, what, that fat fuck? Like, seriously, why? Anyway, the next match was Coulter, oh god, I've just said it. Now, the next segment was where they got the Don't Tread on Me flag, and they draped it over William Regal, and then they did a pose, and that was pretty much it. So the next segment was Cena comes out and talks about how he basically said that if the winner of the Money in the Bank 2013 and cashes it in, it's not going to be easy and it's going to be hard. I'm always going to watch my back. And he basically talked about the people who hate him and say he shouldn't be here. I saw a lot of people saying they were impressed with this promo, but I thought it was really boring. And he was like, wait, no, not the weird. The gem is here. He did that like 2 times with his hand up. It was cheesy as hell. And then Mark Henry came out, and I was like, oh my. But he came out with his boots, and he was like completely sobbing his eyes out. I predicted it in my preview thing that Mark Henry was going to come out, and yeah, and he was going to retire. And then midway through the actual show, they had Mark Henry retires with a question mark, and I was like, why would they put that? Like, slightly, it's slightly strange that they would put that. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to say I predicted, because I definitely did not predict what was going to come up, but I was like, why would they put that? It just felt a bit staged, if you know what I mean. Do you get me? So then you got Mark Henry coming out. He said he was coming home for his baby girl and his baby boy. That he was gonna just hook up his boots and not do anything anymore. Now, I didn't like this bit because he basically said he was going to retire straight away. Now, that was good. It worked for him because he got the crowd behind him straight away. They were shouting, sexual chocolate, thank you, Henry, one more match. It worked for him. But it made the convincing of it, or the motionability of it, was ruined, because he basically said it straight away, oh, I'm retiring. Now, I think he could have maybe spanned it out 5 minutes longer, but basically he was crying. John Cena was at the edge of the ring, and I thought, typical, the face of the WWE still has to have a say in it, and he did, because, oh my god, I actually marked out, I had goosebumps down my spine. It was absolutely incredible. I sound like such a saddo if you don't watch wrestling right now. If you just don't watch wrestling and have no idea what I'm on about. But basically, John Cena handed him the WWE title, and JBL kindly pointed out that he's the only title he hasn't won in the WWE is the WWE Championship. So Mark Henry, John Cena gave the WWE Championship to Mark Henry. He looked at it a bit, he held it above his head, talked a bit more about how he's coming home and how he's done, and he pondered on a last match, and he didn't sell that bit at all well. It was a bit strange, but he gave the championship back to Cena, told Cena to stay. Cena got in the ring, and Cena basically gave the championship back to Mark Henry, and they both put their hands up with the championship like a referee does with John Cena. I'm sure you can find it on WWE Fan Nation or something like that. And then Mark Henry, John Cena tries to hug him, and Mark Henry gives him a world's strongest slam, and then he's like, I've got a lot left in the tank, it's going to take a lot more than that. So are we going to get a match between John Cena and Mark Henry? I've got freaking goosebumps right now. I'm freaking out. Absolutely incredible. One of the biggest things that's ever happened on Monday Night Raw ever. I've been watching it. Incredible show. This made the show, and we still haven't got to Brock Lesnar yet returning. And freaking hell. It was so good. Are we going to get Mark Henry versus John Cena at Money in the Bank? Oh my god, it's going to be absolutely awesome if they do that. Imagine if Mark Henry won, and then he won the WWE Championship for the first time in his career, and then somebody cashes in straight away. He'd be so pissed. But anyway, that segment was absolutely awesome. 10 out of 10. First thing I've ever given 10 out of 10 in WWE. Deserves it, because Mark Henry sold that so well. It was ridiculous. I was like, you absolute legend. You sold that so well. You got everybody on Twitter. Everybody was marking out like foot. I had goosebumps. It was so good. Mark Henry was like trending second in the world. It was incredible. It was so good. So still to come, we had Punk versus Del Rio, and back from the break, Mark Henry is backstage. Renee Young, she seems to get shoved down our throat a bit at the moment. Anyway, Mark Henry says he's everybody fooled, and calls them puppets, and Henry challenges Cena for the title, which is awesome. So hopefully we get a title match at Money in the Bank 2013. So the next match was Heath Slater versus Chris Jericho. Wasn't into this match at all. I basically was just on the computer, didn't watch it. Chris Jericho won with the code breaker, gave the code breaker to all of them, I think. Didn't watch it. don't care about that match. Let's skip that match. After the match, apparently Drew McIntyre attacked Chris Jericho and ducked and hit the code breaker, and Jericho clears the ring and his music hits. Heyman is then backstage talking to Curtis Axel. He just posed and looks so good with that Intercontinental Championship. Just looks so good. Max Striker approaches for a comment, and then Heyman says he's the best friend of the best in the world. He says friends need space and wants Striker to talk about Curtis Axel, not CM Punk. Now, the winner of this match, which we had with Sin Cara versus Curtis Axel again, was Curtis Axel, and he hit a dodgy DDT. I mean, he didn't go for the perfect plex, he hit the DDT. I wasn't a fan of the perfect plex. I know he did it for his dad, but since he's won the Intercontinental Championship and basically said thanks to his dad, maybe he'll get a DDT as his finisher, because the perfect plex just doesn't look like it's damaging or hurts at all. But that match, didn't watch it at all, but it was, Curtis Axel's just so crisp and awesome, and this was the second match of the night and built up for the match between CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio. So for this match, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Didn't really watch the last two matches. They were kind of boring. Kind of shut off this last 20 minutes. I was absolutely knackered from last night watching Payback. So yeah, sorry about that, guys, but I was absolutely knackered from watching Payback. So I was literally like trying to keep my eyes open in the last match between CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio, which is quite a bit of a disappointment until after the match. So the match is okay. Ricardo Rodriguez was being a bit heelish, laughing at the crowd and stuff, which I don't like, that way they make a sudden switch, if you know what I mean, where they make a sudden switch between face and heel, and then he's just a completely different character. It's not convincing at all. Well, the crowd did them favors because they were a wrestling crowd like Chicago last night. They understood heel and face, and really they did this storyline quite well. So the match was boring, to be honest. I mean, Punk hit a GTS midway through the match, right at the end of the match, because Del Rio walks out the ring, got the 10 count and gave up, and then Dolph Ziggler out of nowhere, we didn't even know he was going to be competing, pounced on Del Rio outside the ring when he was walking up the ramp, and basically built up Alberto Del Rio. So it looks like we're going to get a rematch at Money in the Bank 2013 between Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler. Look forward to that match, because to be honest, I was a bit critical in my Payback review. I said this match was boring, but actually I watched it. I'm going to watch it again as well. It was pretty good, and these guys are a talent. You can't stray away from that. And the match at Money in the Bank, whoever wins, the person that wins at Money in the Bank is in the ladder match, is probably going to cash in the same night, because Alberto Del Rio's title reign is going to be a very, very short one, because I have a feeling Del Rio only won it because Ziggler couldn't carry on, or there's bigger medical conditions than we know about, or something like that, because I can't believe WWE writ it so badly that Del Rio won. Like, everybody was so pissed. Like, why would you do that? It was just, everybody was so surprised. Everybody predicted that Del Rio was going to lose, and then he won. So there must be a reason behind that, as in a short title reign, something like that. But he's made his heel turn, and Dolph Ziggler has made his face turn, because the crowd went berserk for Dolph Ziggler when he came out. The crowd was so happy that he came out. Only got a short stint, and then it went back to CM Punk, and Brock Lesnar came out. Brock Lesnar returned. His hometown is near Michigan, so somebody predicted that it was going to be Brock Lesnar. Should have thought about that before, to be honest, but Brock Lesnar came out and got a mic, went into the ring, was going to talk, didn't. He talked about an F5 because he hit the F5 on CM Punk. CM Punk sold it so well. He sold it so well, he looked like he was laughing when he was on the floor. So it looks like we're going to get Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk at SummerSlam 2013, and Curtis Axel at Money in the Bank 2012. I keep saying 2012. 2013. Holy crap, it was so good. I mean, Brock Lesnar, holy cow, he is back. A match between CM Punk and Brock Lesnar is going to be absolutely incredible. Like, hands down, an amazing match. Cannot wait. This segment. This match in this segment was awesome. You got Dolph Ziggler making a face turn, Del Rio full on heel turn, getting pounced by Dolph Ziggler, and then Brock Lesnar comes out and F5s CM Punk. Now, did Paul Heyman tell Brock Lesnar to do this? Did Brock Lesnar do this and it's going to cause friction between Paul Heyman and CM Punk? I'm not sure. We're going to have to wait, guys, till Raw next week. Cannot wait for Raw next week. I'm going to do a review straight after the show because I'm watching it on TV because my brother's got another exam. So I'm going to do a review down at my nan's house. So since her house is pretty big, I can do a review because everybody's upstairs and you can't hear me when I'm talking, but I live right next door to my brother's room, so when I do a review he can hear me. So if I did it at 4 o'clock he'd be able to hear me, which is a big shame. But I'll be doing a review, so hopefully we find out, did Paul Heyman tell him to do that? Did Curtis Axel have a word in his ear? Maybe that's a bit far-fetched, but something, please tell us what is going to happen at Raw. This is going to be absolutely epic. This is going to be heating up to be the feud of the year. CM Punk, Brock Lesnar. But CM Punk is a face and Brock Lesnar a heel now. What's Paul Heyman going to do? Is it going to cause friction? Holy shit, I am excited for Raw. Thanks for staying with me, guys, for 30 minutes. This has been an absolutely incredible Raw. 9.9 out of 10. Wait, no. 9.7 out of 10. I can't give it 9.9. That would just be too good. This was good, though. Amazing Raw for June 17, 2013. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Me watching my first Raw of the summer. Absolutely pumped for the summer to come. RVD returning. Christian returning. Brock Lesnar returning today. This is absolutely epic, guys. Looking forward to Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, where we're going to get some fresh new talent and some awesome feuds. Thanks for watching. Look forward to the Raw preview next week. And goodbye. 9.7 for this week's Raw. Absolutely incredible.